Hello and welcome. As part of PER's ongoing pursuit to achieve its mission, to pay the right person, the right benefit, at the right time, we recognize the importance of ensuring we have complete and accurate information of all its members. The W-4P form provides PERS with important information needed to process its members' federal and state tax withholdings timely and accurately. In this video, we will walk through each step of the process to correctly complete the W-4P form. Before we begin, please note the video control options at the bottom of this video. At any time during the video, you can pause and play the video by clicking the play pause button, and rewind the video by clicking on and dragging the seat bar to the left to help ensure you don't miss any important information. Closed captions are available for the hearing impaired by simply clicking the closed caption icon at the bottom of the video. Finally, you have the option of expanding to full screen view by clicking the full screen view icon. Please note, PERS and its representatives are unable to provide any tax advice. Please contact a tax specialist for assistance with choosing the withholdings best suited for your situation and needs. Also, an important reminder, please remember to sign and date both parts of this form to avoid delays in the processing of your withholding information. Let's get started. Account type. Locate the account type section at the top of the form. Select the appropriate account type you are submitting withholdings for. If you have multiple accounts but you want to elect different withholdings for different accounts, you must fill out a separate W-4P form for each of those accounts. For this example, we will select the standard pension account type. Please note, the account type selected will apply to both federal and state withholdings. However, you still have to enter the withholding information in both the federal and state sections of this form. If you are retired and do not select an account type, your withholdings will be applied to your pension or disability benefit. If there is no pension or disability benefit, it will be applied to your 8P beneficiary or units. If there are no 8P beneficiary or unit benefits, it will be applied to your I8P. If you are in the process of retiring and do not select an account type, your withholdings will be applied to all benefits that require a W-4P form for the benefits you are currently retiring from. Personal information. Next, just below the account type section is section Part A, Step 1, where you will enter your personal information. Enter your first name, middle initial, if applicable, last name, your full address, including your city, state, and full zip code. When entering your Social Security number, please ensure you enter it correctly and in its entirety. Missing, incorrect, or incomplete Social Security numbers are the most common errors in this section and can cause significant delays in the processing of your W-4P form. The final piece of information for this step is your filing status. Please select one of the three options. Please note, only select head of household if you're unmarried and pay more than half the costs of keeping up a home for yourself and a qualifying individual. For this example, we will select single or married filing separately. Please note, if a filing status is not selected, PERS will use the federal default of single or married filing separately. You will need to complete a new W-4P form with the correct filing status selected if you wish to change your filing status from the federal default status. Income. Please note, complete steps 2 through 4 only if they apply to you. Otherwise, skip to step 5. See page 3 for more information on each step, when to use the estimator at the web address shown, and how to elect to have federal income tax withheld, if permitted. For step 2 of Part A, complete this step if you have income from a job or more than one pension or annuity, or you are married filing jointly and your spouse receives income from a job or pension or annuity. See page 3 for examples on how to complete step 2. Please note, if you did not select a filing status in Step 1 of Part A, PERS will default all line items in this step to the federal default of 0. Complete steps 3 to 4B on this form only if line B1 is blank and this pension or annuity pays the most annually. Otherwise, do not complete steps 3 to 4B on this form. Also note, if you enter any amount in these fields, you must total the amounts in line 3 or they won't be used. Dependents and other credits. In Step 3, you will enter any qualifying dependents and other credits if your total income is $200,000 or less, $400,000 or less if married filing jointly. In the first line, multiply the number of qualifying children under age 17 by $2,000 and enter the total amount. In the next line, multiply the number of other dependents by $500 and enter the total amount. In the next line, add other credits such as foreign tax credit and education's credits and enter the total amount. Add the amounts for qualifying children, other dependents, and other credits and enter the total here. Please note, if you don't enter a total amount, then the amounts entered in this step won't be used. An important reminder, please refer to page 3 for more information if you are unsure how to complete this step. Please note, if you did not select a filing status in Step 1 of Part A, PERS will default all line items in this step to the federal default of 0. Other adjustments. In Step 4 of Part A, you have the option of making further adjustments to your withholdings. Beginning with Option A, enter any income not from jobs, pension, or annuity payments. If you want tax withheld on other income you expect this year that won't have withholding, enter the amount of other income here. This may include interest, taxable Social Security, and dividends. On the next line, enter deductions. If you expect to claim deductions other than the basic standard deduction and want to reduce your withholding, use the deductions worksheet on page 4 and enter the result here. On the last line of Step 4, enter extra withholdings. Enter any additional tax you want withheld from each payment. Please note, any entries made in these fields must be an actual dollar amount and should not be confused with entering number of allowances. You can choose not to have federal income tax withheld from your payments by writing no withholding just below Step 4C. If you write no withholding below Step 4C, then you only need to complete Steps 1A, 1B, and Step 5 of Part A. For exemption status to be valid, you must leave all line items blank in Steps 2, 3, and 4. If you did not select a filing status in Step 1 of Part A, and you are not filing exempt, PERS will default all line items in this step to the federal default of $0. Sign and date. In Step 5 of Part A, it is required you add your signature and the date. Please note, W-4P forms missing the signature will not be processed. PERS will notify you a new form will need to be completed, signed and dated, and submitted to PERS. Signatures must be handwritten. PERS will not accept digital signatures. Hello again. You have completed Part A of the W-4P form. Before we begin Part B, please consider reviewing the information you entered for each step of Part A to ensure it is accurate and no information is missing. If you are ready to move on to Part B, then let's get started. As a reminder, please make sure you include your Social Security number and signature for both Part A and Part B. If your Social Security number or signature is missing for one or both parts of the form, that part of the form will not be processed. Please note, Oregon state tax withholding will be calculated based upon single marital status and zero allowances unless you complete Part B or have an existing Oregon state tax withholding on file with PERS. See the Form ORW-4 instructions following the federal instructions. Non-Oregon residents who do not want Oregon state income tax withheld should enter exemption code M on line 4A and write exempt on line 4B in Part B. Oregon residents see other exemption codes on page 3 of ORW-4 instructions. Personal information. In the first section of Part B, you will enter your personal information. Enter your first name, middle initial, if applicable, last name, your full address, including your city, state, and full zip code. When entering your Social Security number, please ensure you enter it correctly and in its entirety. Missing, incorrect, or incomplete Social Security numbers is the most common error in this section and can cause significant delays in the processing of your W-4P form. Filing status. Please note, your eligibility to claim a certain number of allowances or an exemption from withholding may be subject to review by the Oregon Department of Revenue. Your employer may be required to send a copy of this form to the department for review. The next step for Part B is selecting your filing status. Please note, check the single box if you're married and you're legally separated or if your spouse is a non-U.S. citizen without permanent resident status. For this example, we will select single. Please note, if you do not select a filing status in this step or multiple boxes are selected, PERS will use the state default of single. If you wish to change your filing status, you must complete a new form with the new filing status selected and submit it to PERS. Allowances. In Step 2, enter the total number of allowances you are claiming on line A4, B15, or C5. See worksheets for instructions. If you skip the worksheets and aren't exempt, enter 0. Please note, a number must be entered for allowances. The number 0 is acceptable. If this line is left blank, then PERS will use the state default of 0. Additional amounts. In this step, you have the option of having an additional amount, if any, withheld from each paycheck. Enter that amount here, otherwise enter 0. Please note, if you did not select a filing status in Step 1, then PERS will use the state default of 0 for your additional amount option. Exemption from withholding. In this step, you have the option of entering exemptions to indicate your wages are exempt from withholdings. You are certifying your wages are exempt from withholdings and you meet the conditions for exemption as stated on page 2 of the instructions. Complete both lines below. The first step is determining the correct exemption code for line 4A. Please refer to page 3 of the instructions for the list of exemption codes. For this example, we will use code A. Next, on line 4B, write the word exempt. Please note, you must include an exemption code on line 4A and write exempt on line 4B for your exemption from withholding to be valid. Sign and date. In the final step, you must sign and date Part B of the form. By signing here, under penalty of false swearing, you are declaring that the information you provided is true, correct, and complete. W-4P forms missing the signature will not be processed. PERS will notify you a new form will need to be completed, signed and dated, and submitted to PERS. Signatures must be handwritten. PERS will not accept digital signatures. Oh, welcome back. Before I let you go, let's recap a few key items to be mindful of that can cause delays in the processing of your W-4P form. First, missing signatures on either Part A or Part B of the form. If one or both parts of the form are missing your signature, that part of the form will not be processed, and a new form with your signature will need to be submitted to PERS. Next, missing, incorrect, or incomplete Social Security numbers will cause significant delays in the processing of your withholding information. Please be sure to include your full and accurate Social Security number. Remember to include the number of allowances in Part B for your state withholdings. Missing withholdings can also cause significant delays in the processing of your withholding information. If you are filing exempt for Part B, please do not add any allowances in the allowances section or select a filing status in Part B. This creates conflicting information and will further delay the processing of your withholding information. Finally, when filing exempt, it is important to include the exemption code. You must include an exemption code or the exemption will be deemed invalid. This concludes the overview on completing the W-4P form. If you still have questions, please contact Member Services toll-free at 888-320-7377.